Hello everyone, welcome back to Living Analog Soundlab. Today we're going into the science and the mythology of the mid-range, what I call sacred ground. So, what are we talking about when we say mid-range? If you look at the music like a house, the bass is the foundation and the treble is the roof. The mid-range is the floor where you actually live. It's where the human voice sits, the growl of the guitar or the soul of a piano. It's the middle slice of sound that carries the emotion and makes you feel like the artist is actually in the room with you. Let's look at the biology first. Your ears aren't flat, they're surgical funnels. The human ear canal has a natural resonance that peaks right in the upper mid-range. Evolution did that for a reason. It's so you can catch the smallest nuance in a human voice or a snap of a twig. Your brain is literally a high-resolution processor for these frequencies. When gear scoops the mid-range to sound more exciting, it's actually fighting your own anatomy. It creates a disconnect between the physics of the sound and how your brain is hardwired to process it. Now, here's the mythology. We talk about the holographic soundstage, that moment the speakers disappear and a presence steps into the room. That magic doesn't happen in the super highs or the sub bass. It happens in the timing of the fundamentals. If your gear smears the timing of the mid-range, the 3D ghost smears. You aren't in the room with the band anymore. You're just looking at the flat 2D recording. You've lost the soul of the performance. So, how do you reach that place? If you're ready to find the sacred ground in your own room, I recommend you start researching 3 things: timing, connection, and space. First, let's talk about timing. How to keep your signal perfectly in sync. The fix is all about speaker positioning. Grab a tape measure and make sure each speaker is the exact same distance from your ears. When you square the distance up, the sound hits you at the exact same microsecond and the image locks into place. Second is connection. This is the handshake between your needle and your preamp. If that connection isn't matched, the mid-range sounds thin and electric. To solve this, you need to master cartridge loading. It's about tuning the resistance so the signal flows without a bottleneck. When that handshake is right, the gear disappears and the performance takes over. Now, finally, space. How your speakers interact with your room. If they're sitting flat on a table or the floor, the vibrations will eat your mid-range. The fix is isolation. Get them on stands or use isolation pads to break that contact with the surface. Then, give them some air. Move them away from the walls at least 2 or 3 feet if you can. That distance stops the reflections from blurring the sound and lets the center image finally lock in. Master those 3 and the sacred ground opens up. You stop listening to a machine and you start experiencing a presence. This is the reality of the signal. It doesn't matter if you're in a tuned studio or you're just listening in your bedroom. The physics don't change. Everything we do here is about protecting the sacred ground. We're keeping the center of that music so pure and phase accurate that your brain stops processing audio and starts witnessing a presence. This quest isn't about having the most expensive setup. It's about having an honest connection to the record spinning in front of you. The walls of the room disappear. That's why I started the Sound Lab, to find the truth in these grooves, one record at a time. If you're on the same hunt, hit that subscribe button and join the crew. Let's keep the signal pure. Thank you for joining me today. Aloha from Maui.